Hey, today I'm again talking about 3 movies featuring 3 actors that I had seen 3 times so far this year, but now I've seen 4 times so far this year. And the names of those 3 films are Bridge of Spies, Russian Dolls, and Heathers. Spies. Bridge of Spies. This is a 2015 film directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Tom Hanks and Mark Rylance. He's the one I watched 4 times so far this year. And the basic premise is it is based off of a true story in which this insurance lawyer, through a series of events, becomes a prisoner exchange negotiator. And it's pretty good. I mean, it's Steven Spielberg, so he knows what he's doing and he does a good job with it. The story is definitely very interesting. It's acted very, very well, especially by Tom and Mark. I in particular liked Mark a lot. I will say what kind of brought it down a little bit for me, in a lot of Steven Spielberg movies, there's an element of whimsy to the story that it gives me a feeling of nothing truly awful can happen. Bad stuff can happen. People can get hurt or even die, but it's never gonna be the worst thing is happening. So it feels safe in a sense. And I do think there's stories in which that's a good thing to have, but I don't think it was the best choice for this film just because it is a very intense situation, like a prisoner exchange thing. He goes to East Germany for a little while too, and that's a really intense place, and it was intense in the movie, but I don't know, he still felt safe. Even with that said, I would still totally recommend this movie. It's definitely a good, solid film. I think my complaint is something easy to look past, so it's definitely worth a watch. Next up is Russian Dolls. This is a 2005 British/French film featuring Audrey Tautou, my 4th one of hers so far this year. And the basic premise is this struggling writer decides to write a memoir of his sexual conquests. This movie is super pretentious and very much so comes off as just braggy about oh, I got laid so easy and it was great. It's just, no, that's dumb. But it's actually pretty good. It has a lot of style. It's definitely trying something. And it's pretty good. The style's pretty interesting. They do lots of interesting... It's hard to explain. You just kind of have to see it. It is a bit much at times, but I would say for the most part it works. And then this movie's also very, very 2005. This is just a slice of 2005. The clothes and hairstyles and stuff is just so of its time. It's ridiculous. And it's also very, very British when they do British things. I'm kind of surprised with how British it was. Even with that though, it was still pretty good. The story was interesting enough, and there is definitely heart and charm to the movie that definitely elevate it. And it's, in a sense, an unconventional love story, and I think it works. I would kind of describe this film as a little bit of a mess. It probably could have used a couple of extra drafts to kind of really nail it down and expand certain aspects. But it's fine, it's good. I put it in the quite liked. So would I recommend it? I wouldn't widely recommend it. I would just say if you want to get some nostalgia for 2005, yeah, definitely check it out. Or if you want kind of more of an unconventional love story, then yeah, it's worth a watch. It's just, you'll see the style immediately, so you just need to emotionally prepare yourself for a lot more of that style. But it's good. I liked it. I quite liked it. And lastly is Heathers. This is a 1988 film starring Winona Ryder, my 4th one of her. It also has Christian Slater, my 3rd one of him. And the basic premise is it's kind of a whimsical high school drama about murdering people. And I didn't know that going into it. I really was not expecting anything that this movie was. And it was interesting. I'm still kind of processing the movie. I don't exactly know what to make of it. I ended up putting it in the liked category because I think that's fitting. But it's such a weird beast of a film. Just because they're so casual about these murders. And it's just such a strange world. It definitely was acted well and was interesting. I will say too that it's very 80s, But on top of that, it's really very late 80s. Like, I'm kind of discovering this like little sub-genre section. So it's like, it's similar-ish in vibe to Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice, which also came out around this time. Of just like, it's reality, but it's not quite reality. And like with a lot of 80s films, I'm not a fan of 80s music. Again, this one has a lot of very 80s music, so yeah. I did bring this up to a group of friends recently to kind of see what they thought of it, and all of them like hadn't seen it in a long time, but all have very fond, happy memories of it. Like, they do enjoy this film a lot. So, would I recommend it? I mean, kind of going off of them, I would say yeah, I think it's worth a look. But I think with this movie, you kind of need to go into it knowing more so what it's like instead of going into it blind like I did. So yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it. It was fine. It was interesting. It was weird. Yeah. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up is Bridge of Spies, sitting at number 95 in the quite like section. And then after that is Russian Doll, sitting at number 142, also in the quite like section. And then bringing up the rear is Heather, sitting at number 196 in the liked category. And this is out of a total of 282 old movies so far this year.